GM, first order of business. This is a 30-second Schnauzer. So if you want to fill this, now's your chance. There is waiting for one. Second order of business is yes. This is a brand new overlay. I will be accepting feedback on said overlay, but just trying to, as they say in the industry, profesh this up just a touch. Hopefully you all like it. If not, I don't know what to tell you. I've never made an overlay before, tried something new, and we'll see how it works out. This may not be the final version of it, but just trying to change things up a little bit. I also today decided to put on the scroll of the current BBM exposures I have. So if you are interested in my BBM exposures, those are the top ones. I've done 36. So there's a lot of players who I have the exact same amount of. So a lot of the percentages are the same because it's not a huge sample. But without further ado, Dirty P caught David Gilmour milking the cash cow at work last night. New live release is on the way. TGIF. Well, again, Dirty P, thank you for your service and getting those album covers out to all of us. So that is awesome. That is awesome. And again, thank you so much for hopping in today and joining us. I had a hunch this might fill, but it has not. It has not filled. I actually started a minute or so early because I wanted to give anyone who wanted to be in here a chance to fill it. Let me see if I can't put up the bat signal. 30-second Schnauzer waiting for one. All right. Well, we're still waiting for one. Normally, I like to navigate over to my exposures to talk about them, but now I have them scrolling, so that's slightly redundant. But I guess I can. I guess I could pull those up. I haven't looked at any kind of news from this morning. I don't think anything really has happened too much in our world other than CJ Mosley retiring. A pretty amazing career. I guess that came out yesterday. But as you can see, I am struggling for topics. I can. Sorry, it was a quick get up and get out the door this morning. Whenever I think of David Gilmour, it reminds me of the time I tried going vegan. I just couldn't give up the pudding. Going vegan is got to be one of the hardest things to do. I think I could potentially survive as a vegetarian if I had to. I mean, I probably would never do it because I just really like meat. But yeah, I knew someone that was like vegan when I was in school. And then one day I see him eating refried beans. And I was like, isn't that like not vegan? He's like, no, it's vegan. And I'm like, pretty sure it isn't. Like, it's just little things that make it hard. The honey and the milk really make it another level of difficulty beyond being vegetarian that I just don't know if I can get there. Dirty P, I hope your dog is okay. No worries about not being able to join the draft here. I certainly hope all is well on that front. Let's see. All right, the Schnauzer, we have filled it. If you don't eat your meat, you can't eat your pudding. Yes, as we all learned from our friends over at Pink Floyd, that is the truth. So I'm here with the 2-hole, and I'm really getting into this phase where I'm not taking Saquon Barkley at 2. I haven't done any kind of board flipping in the Schnauzer. So maybe with this Schnauzer, I'm going to switch it up and I'll take Nico Collins just to do something different. It's, I guess if you're going to experiment, let's experiment in the Schnauzer. Take it down. Thank you, Dirty People. If you're not in the room, then I don't feel too bad about taking one of the spots to advance. So I'm going to try something different. We'll take Nico Collins. Again, I think some of these smaller contests, I'll do my experimentation, and then in BBM, I'll be more of a 8% bro. Although if you see my exposures, I've clearly not lived up to the 8% life, especially when it comes to the running backs. I have let Tootin and Scatabo get completely out of hand. I am hoping that if I have those exposures scrolling, it'll remind me not to click the same names 10,000 times, but we'll see. We will see. I should have warned you. I already drafted the winner on this one. Good luck in second place. Tiger Uppercut. I would be euphoric if you were to win this and I were to get second place. I have absolutely no problem with that outcome. That would be pretty sweet. I'm really hoping that somebody ships one of these big best ball contests that I know of, or that come in the stream or I chat with on Discord. That would be awesome. Definitely rooting for that outcome. Let's see, is anyone else doing anything weird? Josh T here gets Jefferson at 6, which is pretty nice. You don't see that too often, but obviously if somebody pushes Nico into the top 2, then one of this range gets pushed out. Again, I'm of the camp that after CeeDee Lamb, there's somewhat of a big tier break. So a little bit fortunate for old DJ Pimples, in my opinion, that he gets Lamb at 7, and certainly getting Jefferson at 6 will likely allow them, or Jefferson, maybe to get some kind of unique combo if he takes whoever's there at ADP. Don't see A-Chain go ahead of Gene T very often, but here we are. James Young went to bed arguing about Rashee Rice on Twitter and woke up to continue the argument. Can't wait for September. Yeah, the Rashee Rice steam, it's out of control. It's out of control. The best ball cabal has gone out over their skis, and I think they're going to be exposed. I think they're going to be exposed for not truly wanting to help you. If they are telling you to take Rashee Rice at pick 23, are they really your friend? I don't know. I think it's clear they're not. Again, coming off of a catastrophic knee injury, I don't think the environment's going to be as good. We've got the emergence of Worthy as a more legitimate receiver. Hollywood Brown's not nothing. He's going to be out there. I think that's a huge upgrade over, Watson running wind sprints or whomever they throw out there as a sacrificial X. I think we are acting like we're going to get the Rashee Rice we saw early in the season in that exact same role where they were the only competent game in town. And I just don't know if that's going to happen. So we are up, and I think I'll just take Jonathan Taylor here. So I think I get a lot of Nico Jonathan Taylor teams, and now I'm getting it at the 2 hole. So maybe I'll just end up with, I was trying to do this to get some unique combo, and then I didn't get a unique combo, but maybe my third receiver will be different than the players I get. I will not end up with a lot of like Nico Garrett Wilson, Nico T Higgins, or Nico MHJ. I suppose there's an argument I could take McBride. I like all 4 of these guys. So let's see who we are able to get here. I'd probably be inclined to take Higgins because there's almost no way you end up with a lot of Higgins Nico teams where Garrett Wilson will randomly slide a little bit. So we're going to try to get somewhat unique with this Taylor, Collins, Higgins start. Higgins, again, honestly, not my favorite receiver. I think in a vacuum, I prefer Wilson and Tyreek over him. But if we are going to pull Nico up, I might be interested in doing this to create something somewhat unique. Ant Xwall, my point exactly, 100% agree. Thank you, Ant Xwall. Thank you. At least some of us are out here. I mean, Rashee Rice at 22. Can't do it. And it could bury me. I could be wrong, but I am at least going in with my eyes open. Houston, Arizona, week 15, Dirty P. This is why things like Best Ball Overlay are good, because that would have alerted me to that. But unfortunately, I did miss that that potential correlation. Yeah. I mean, that said, I don't know if I want to I don't know if it was worth breaking the tie to it. I am surprised to see that McBride is not off the board yet. That's somewhat surprising. Mike Evans sneaking up here to this spot early in the 3rd round feels I don't know. I don't know if that's where does he go? Yeah, 34. So that's a little bit early for Evans. That's why I was somewhat surprised to see him. But yeah, this Josh T fellow is building an absolute wagon, getting Jefferson, Ladd, and McBride. That's a really nice start, because you see Jefferson paired with McBride a lot, but with the McBride going in the second. So that's a pretty nice build that that Josh T in the 6 hole has fallen into. Tyler GM warning us that McBride has been falling to the mid third for a bit now. Going to let him fall and settle. Yeah, Tyler, I missed about a week and a half of drafting, so I still haven't fully adjusted some of these moves like the McBride slide. I'm somewhat surprised to see that, although I don't know, maybe just like the early tight ends are not as much in vogue. I have noticed Bowers slides more than he did early in the draft cycle. So I suppose it would make sense that if Bowers is slipping, then he's almost pushing McBride, because they shouldn't be going too close to each other. So it would make sense to keep that 7 to 12 pick gap between the two. So that kind of makes sense to me. I'm hating the elite tight end slide. Dirty P does not like it. Well, if it enables me to take more like Bowers, I mean, early on in like the big board, I was actually somewhat anti-Bowers. I could see the vision where he kind of had the nut run out last year, where their QB play was really bad, but at least competent enough to hyper target one player. Now with Geno, you might see the target concentration spread out a bit more. He might get a smaller slice of the pie. Now, I think the pie is going to be bigger, but I do feel like there is a chance that we see, last season. There's no guarantee that he does better this coming season than he did last season. And taking him in the second round around some of these like truly elite running backs and receivers is not without risk. That said, I do not want to have no Bowers. He can absolutely separate at the position. He can outperform some of those receivers there, and we get him to fill our tight end slot. So I certainly see the bear case for Bowers, but that said, I am happy that if he is truly sliding, to get him there. Worthy and JMO here. Man, I like both of these guys. I'm almost hoping that old Geno 21 takes one, so I don't have to choose. It's like choosing between your favorite children. I do not know how to make this decision. I probably will take JMO, because I think that's how I would have them ranked. Although, you know what? I'm going to take Worthy and hope maybe this guy takes Jameson. If not, it's okay. I have a ton of Jameson Williams. So he snaps off Jameson. That's fine. If I could get Sutton or Hampton. Okay, I'm sorry. I meant Kittle or Hampton. I'm going to take George Kittle here and then hope that I can catch up at running back later. I am pretty Kittle-pilled, especially with some of the uncertainty around the Niner receivers. I think he is kind of the one constant, and I very much like him, and I'm high on him this year. So I'll pull up the draft board, trying to see if anyone's doing anything truly out of the ordinary. Nope. I guess this Justin guy who's gone 3 receivers, Jalen Hurts, and only has Mike Williams through 5. That is somewhat of an aggressive move. Josh T here, who's building a team I really like. Let's see what he takes there. He added Travis Hunter to his team. Tyler, seeing you on late round with Jay was awesome. Yeah, Tyler, I haven't actually caught up on that episode, but it is actually in the queue to watch today. So I'm really looking forward to that one. And congratulations on getting on that show. That is really awesome. I guess I could make that one of my goals one day, to see if I can get the invite from JJ. But I'm a long way from that. The market has been fudding tight ends, so I'm happy to grab them cheaper with a more flat tier of worse players. Yeah. I am not sad to see the market doing that. Happy to take Kittle over Hampton, just because Greg Roman offense is so capped for running back targets and split touches. Hampton has to go full A-chain thin but possible. Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, it's a shame because we've seen Herbert support Eckler in the early Herbert years, but now with, like you said, with Roman in there, we have not seen that as much. We know it's in the bag, but it will seems like it's going to stay in the bag this season. Which yeah, like you said, Najee Harris is going to be a thorn in Hampton's side. And so we might end up relying pretty heavily on efficiency there. James Young, 5-hole is drafting a Week 17 Battle Royale team. Let's see what the 5-hole has. Oh, yeah, with their running backs only. 5-hole. Okay. Saquon, Bucky, Tyreek, Devontae, and George Pickens. Yeah, you've got Dolphins, Bucks. You've got Eagles, mega stack, and then the Cowboys there. Yeah, I see what they're doing. We'll see if that team can make it. Makes it though. Oh, the 4-hole. Okay, so here we go. Going back to it. Gibbs, Jacobs, Evans, Hurts, and Kamara. Yeah, the Hurts pick is interesting there at 45. You see him slide. There's a chance Hurts would have been there at 52. That's not super duper rare. I, of course, will not get Joe Burrow. That does not seem to happen for me. That's okay. Anytime you can take naked Joe Burrow and pair him with Zay Flowers and DJ Moore, you simply have to do it. Tyler says allowing the dregs of the bottom of the barrel get scooped for shows. No, you are not. You are nowhere near the bottom of the barrel. If this was a crude oil refinery, you'd be up with the kerosene. Way at the top. At least I think that's how oil refineries work. Someone might have to correct me on that. I'm going to take Rome Odunze because this is a lot of ADP value, and then hope I get one of Judkins or Caleb. If he takes both of them, then I'm going to regret this pick. But we're going to take a chance. We are going to take a chance here. I think my preference would be Caleb, so I'm somewhat hoping that Ol said 24,680 does not double tap these running backs. He takes Judkins. Uh-oh. Come on, take Laporta. Take Laporta. You have Lions. You have Lions. Please give me Caleb. He's winding the clock down. He's building the drama. He takes Laporta. He listens to his good advice. So I'll add Caleb Johnson. So far, I've got a 0-2-4-1 with Jonathan Taylor, Caleb Johnson, Nico Collins, T. Higgins, Xavier Worthy, and Rome Odunze with George Kittle at tight end. So far, so good with this team. I'm wondering if the banner I should stop the banner, or if people like the banner, please let me know. I know it kind of is pushing up the camera or being weird, and my name is covering my mouth, and I can make it like a Chad Candles mustache thing here. I don't know. That didn't really work. Yeah. Not sure I like how the camera set up. I'm also not in my normal streaming room because my wife needed the office today, so I've been exiled and I'm on my backup location. But let's pull up the board and see what we can see. Khalil Shakir going at 77, not to the Josh Allen drafter. Let's see if I pull this. Uh-oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh God, what did I just press? All right, I tried to make the draft board bigger and it didn't work. Banner exposures did not notice till now, but research says moving banners good for stream. Tyler, thank you for doing the research because I have done no research. I just go live and then I wonder, I just hope everything works out. I finally took your advice and put sub chat on. So if you have been just, living sub free, your days of chatting and not subbing are numbered. I turned that on. I'm sorry. You have to be a sub for 1 minute. You're in a 1 minute cooling off period. But yeah, no, I did finally turn that on. James asked if I am team Reed or team Golden. I've generally been team golden, and I'm starting to rethink that. I think I want to be much more equal than I've been drafting them. And I think what happens is I get to a point in the draft where I need a receiver, and I guess they've already gone, so I can't show you. But I literally have them ranked one after the other, and I have golden one ahead, and so I just click the higher ranked. When that's bad, because I think it's really going to be closer to a coin flip as far as who's going to be the better player. So right now I have significantly more golden, but I do want to even that out. I wish I had a better process as to which receiver on which team, but honestly, like I don't really have some great methodology for parsing them out. So I here have to run a gauntlet of 3 people that need quarterbacks in order to try to stack worthy, including the Rice guy. So I would be stunned if old Geno 21, if he's there, does not take Mahomes. But we'll see. We can keep our fingers crossed that happens. But if not, then let's see. Our QB options will be a later Stroud. We've missed the boat on Burrow, and I probably need to take. Wow, he takes Igbuka. I'm just going to take Mahomes because this guy could just break my heart, and I don't want that. So I'm going to take Mahomes and get my Mahomes worthy stack. And then after that, let's see. Of course, I could take my gorillionth share of Scatabo. I don't think that makes sense. I might just take Travis Kelce and then end at 2 tight ends. Part of me just wants to take Jaden Higgins and then possibly lock down a really nice Colin Stroud double, because Stroud, I think he'll line up with ADP here. I think that's what I want to do. Stroud goes, where is he? He didn't already go, right? No, he goes at 136. So I'd be taking him ahead of ADP, but regardless, I'm just going to take Higgins here. I think it'd be a little too cute taking Travis Kelce and then having Kelce Kittle, but you could make an argument that the KC double would have been good. I don't know. That's an interesting question. I know tight end's a position where you can go a lot of different directions on. I know there's a lot of people that really prefer kind of 2 tight ends almost exclusively, and that certainly would have been a time where I could have ended at 2. But I do like the upside of adding this potential double stack over in Houston. So let's see. We pull the board up. So Jimmy FO, by the way, took unstacked Baker and prevented the guy who was all in on Mike Evans from taking him. So, we are the Schnauzer streets are not kind. They are not kind. They are like showing up in, getting dropped off in the middle of Moscow on a bus, and you do not speak Russian and you're trying to get home. It's you're really, I don't know. It's probably nothing like that actually, but it's not good. It's not good. People are very unfriendly in the Schnauzer streets today. So let's see what's going on. I think this is the Josh Allen drafter. Keon Coleman goes 1 pick ahead of the Josh Allen drafter. Do not draft your Schnauzers this morning if you are expecting any kind of kindness or reciprocity, because you are simply not going to get it. You are not going to get it here today. But yeah, we roll on. I'm going to be trying to put out a longer form video, but I do not know when the best time to release said video is. Just a little bit of a teaser. I want to start doing a few more of those. I did one earlier, and yeah, I liked it. It was definitely a new experience from streaming. It's very difficult to just talk without interacting with chat, so it did not necessarily come the most naturally, but it was fun, and hopefully I can keep on doing those. Dark Side Dev, thank you so much for stopping by. And it is a cold game, man. That is true. Cold world, no blanket. Unless you're getting Justin Fields at 112, which is really nice. then things seem pretty good. Although he's not he's not the Garrett Wilson guy. No, Garrett Wilson wouldn't have made it all the way over there. But yeah, that's a nice little drop. I don't think I want to try to push Stroud to 143. That seems a little bit risky unless I get Caleb here, in which case I could potentially chance it. Again, not sure that's worth it. Let's see. Yeah, Caleb would be a nice ADP gift if we were to get that. I definitely am in the market for another running back at this position, potentially more than a second quarterback, especially when I've drafted Mahomes, who I need to be elite for this team to work, because taking Xavier Worthy, you got to draft like you're right. That would be one of those things. Luther Burden, big faller lately. There goes Caleb to Geno. All right. I could try to take Kyle Williams and Drake May, but again, I think I need running backs, and I'm going to take Ramondre here. I think this is going to be more of a split than we want in New England, and I've come around to the idea that Ramondre is simply going to be in a near 50-50 split with Travion. I don't know. He could just get completely dusted by the end of the year, and this pick is going to look really stupid. I draft way too much Bashal Tootin, so in some sense, I think I'm tie-breaking away from just more Tootin. All of that said, I almost think at this point now I do need to take Stroud, because if I don't get Stroud here, QB is going to get really thin on me. Most of these players who I'm going to be trying to push it around only have one quarterback. But then again, this is a little bit of a tough call. All right, I'm going to take Stroud, and then just say this is a 2 QB team with Mahomes and Stroud. Because if I'm going to forego guy I really like in Tootin, a couple exciting receiver, potentially just ending with 2 tight ends like a Tyler Warren there, I think I probably have to just make my bed with this being a 2 QB team, unless I really fall into some kind of crazy late round QB value that makes sense for the crew. But yeah, I think my inclination is just to take Tootin ahead of Ramondre every time, and I don't know if I actually if I want to make that bet. I mean, as you see in my BBM exposures, I have 38% Tootin, which again, as the summer's gone on, has looked a little more sketchy than I had hoped. But again, it could have been a little panicky to take Stroud there, but I don't know. It does create this double stack. James, I have 38% Scatabo and Tootin in BBM. I was really trying to get nobody over about 20% in my BBMs, and I've only done 36 of them, so it's there's still time. There's still time for me. But I did discover today that I have gotten way out over my skis on that. Yes, James, in post draft. It's BBM exclusive the way I have the ticker. I didn't include the puppy. I don't know, because I don't think that's as illustrative of what I kind of do. Like in puppies, you're doing a lot of different stuff. I'm willing to take big stands in the puppies, but in BBM, I want it to be flatter. And so that is just BBM. That's why a lot of the percentages are the same, because there's only a sample of 36. I think I've done about 215 post draft, something around there, because I ended up maxing the puppy. Although I still have like 8 puppy slows left that I'm trying to crank through. All right, so we are about to come back up. Let's see. So it is possible we would have gotten Stroud with Herbert and T-Law still lurking around here. But you know what? When you take a player early, it's not like you don't get another player. You just get different combinations. So, we'll make do with the Algiers, the Bigsby's, Dobbins kind of range here. I think I would take Hollywood Brown just to create a double stack with Mahomes there. Will put me in a little bit of a bye week 10 situation, but I'm not really a bye week bro, so I can live with that. But let's see if Jimmy Foe is autoing. He may have just taken Hollywood Brown. There goes Hollywood Brown. So forget all that. GM, the pound, the fantasy dog pound, one of the best out there. Thanks so much for stopping by, Pat. I am honored to have you here. Thank you so much for coming in. Yeah. That's what I got. I'm about to pick. I got distracted. You know how it goes. Getting sweaty in here. I'm gonna take Dobbins. He represents a little bit of a bring back on my Mahomes Week 17 stack, because if you can trust anyone in this contest to be playing and healthy in Week 17, it's absolutely J.K. Dobbins. Yeah, definitely. But no, I do like Dobbins. He kind of got an amazing landing spot. I know Tyler shouting out the pound. Tyler has been in on Dobbins, I think, even before the signing. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was one of your big free agency wins that you have. And yeah, I am more than happy to add him to this team. And then I'll probably take one more running back here, either Algier or Bigsby. I find myself taking a lot of Bigsby, so I might just mix it up and add Algier. Again, if I want to get really, show how big my brain is, I did flip the board and take Nico here. So it's sort of a direct fade on Bijan. So if I'm fading Bijan, then, Algier is the leverage. So now I can go like double leverage and say if something happens to Bijan, I got two picks at the 103. Told you I'd overthink that. So yes, that is my philosophy there. Easy. What's up, Tyler? Yeah. Again, if you don't subscribe to the Fantasy Dog Pound or tune into Pat's show, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing. You gotta do it, Pat. You already know. Yeah. Again, Pat's fans are everywhere, and rightfully so. So for the audio listeners, this team is a 2-5-5-2 with Mahomes and Stroud at QB, JT, Caleb Johnson, Ramondre, J.K. Dobbins, and Tyler Algier at running back, Nico Collins, T. Higgins, Xavier Worthy, Rome Odunze, and Jaden Higgins at receiver, with George Kittle at tight end. And for anyone who does not know, this is a 30-second Schnauzer draft. Tyler using the language of the kids. I can't even... I cannot bring myself to use the term glaze. It's simply not going to happen unless we're talking about a donut. I just can't do it. I will crumble to dust like I chose the wrong grail. Dirty P, 37, 27, 24, Mason, Tootin, Scat, respectively, through 73 BBM. What are skis? Dirty P, I apologize. I don't know what you mean by skis. I'm sorry. I assume those are yours. I know you are the George. You're the Mason guy. So I know you have a high percentage of him, but yeah, I do like the high Tootin and Scat levels. We are one and the same when it comes to that. A little game theory in the morning, Pat. It is never too early to overthink your best ball drafts, as we are demonstrating here at 9:02 in the morning, trying to flip the board in a Schnauzer to really just outsmart the competition. All right, we are coming up. I think it might be time to take another tight end. I like Bretton Strange a lot, but maybe I'll just take Jalen Knoll and make this a Stroud triple. Is that too many Texans? I don't know, but I think we're going to find out together. We're going to take Jalen Knoll here, and I could potentially just push tight end and take like Roshan, who I like quite a bit, and then be very done at running back. Let's see. We're going to end up with 2 more tight ends on this team. Again, I am really into Brenton Strange. I think, though, some of the really late, I really like Brenton Strange. I could also take Gesicki because I have Higgins, so that could create a little more of a Bengals situation. This is somewhat of a tough call for me here. I do think that Strange represents a little bit more of an upside swing. I think there's a possibility that he, if he fully inherits that Ingram role, that was a role we were taking in the 9th, 10th round last season, and so I will take that plunge. And again, I have Jonathan Taylor, so it represents a little bit of a week 17 thing. If we're really getting clever. Okay. Please predict a Scatabo stat line for me this season. Oh, I don't know, man. It's bad because it's like a bad offense, and it's gonna probably be a split early. All right, my bull case is gonna be like 850 rushing yards and like 450 receiving yards. There it is. We're gonna get 1,300 all-purpose yards. 1,300 all-purpose yards and 8 touchdowns, and we're just riding Scatabo into Canton together, into whatever the Underdog Hall of Fame is. I don't know where they're going to put it. They should put it maybe in Canton next to the actual Hall of Fame. I'm not sure. I actually don't even know where Underdog is headquartered. I should probably know that. But yeah, that's where he's going. I feel like Emo Cowboy is just dejectedly closed his laptop as I made this outrageous prediction for Cam Scatabo. But I am a ASU alum, so I am allowed to be a Scatabo, just the most rose-colored of rose-colored glasses when it comes to Scatabo. I have those on, and you can't remove them. I talked to a surgeon about that, and he said they're just built in. That's just who I am. All right. So let's see. Going to take one more tight end, probably just one more running back, one more receiver, and one more tight end, and end with a 2-6-7-3 build here. I think that's perfectly appropriate. Alec Pierce, interesting. I don't think there's any real need to add Aaron Rodgers to this team. I could. I do like Diami Brown. I'm kind of interested in that. And then I can tell myself a little more of a story with this kind of Jacksonville situation that I'm creating. And then when it comes to another running back, let's see what we get. There's a few options. I think it might be just Brashard Smith as a potential pass catcher for Mahomes. If again, I could make the same logic I did when I took Tyler Algier, that I was fading Bijan by taking Will Shipley, and say that I am fading Saquon. I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. But I think for me, if Smith does get that McKinnon role, then I'll take it. Yeah, Shipley goes anyway, makes that decision for me. But and then I will just take another tight end, and let's see what we got with Kittle and Strange. I'm really into Juwan Johnson. I like him more, and then I'm just going to queue up the guys I like in order here. You can see my kind of late tight end kind of rankings, the way that I tend to play this. I'm not in on Noah Gray. I know he plays for the Chiefs, but it's hard for me to imagine that. Oh no, Methodology. GM Jets got the morning salute. Great day to draft the best place. Methodology. Can you make your pointer bigger? Funny bit to have a massive pointer. I don't know if you're referencing this, if you watched the last 2 streams, because I watched my stream back and I discovered that my pointer, when I look at it, is normal. It's small. but when I watch the replay, it's huge. And it looks like I have this like boomer pointer, probably from like a Logitech trackball from like 1992. I don't know why it looks so big. Huhaim said it had something to do with my Zoom, but I just do share screen like for StreamYard. I don't know why it makes my pointer big, but it is yeah. I don't know why I thought make it bigger. I might have to. I might have to figure out how to do that. If I get good at StreamYard, I'm just going to make just an absolute colossus of a pointer, like a foam hand, pointing to my next selections. But Mythology, thank you so much for coming by and hanging out. I hope all of my tight ends I want don't go, or I'm going to actually have to take like Noah Gray or Ben Sinnott, and that feels gross. Michael Mayer, my bull case on him is that he has legitimate contingent upside. I think if something happens to Bowers, Mayer might really see a spike, and you don't always get that from backup tight ends. They, again, like we saw with if Kelsey was out, it wasn't like Noah Gray suddenly turned into Kelsey. But I think Mayer could see a big spike. And I think he has some standalone value. He went through some weird stuff last season, but it sounds like he's back. He's impressing in camp. So, if you need an absolute bailout tight end, I take him every now and then as kind of a true dart throw. I guess we'll just wait to make the last pick. I'll recap the team, and then we will hop in another draft. But I'll start recapping it now. We got 2, 6, 7, 2 with Mahomes and Stroud at QB. Jonathan Taylor, Caleb Johnson, Ramondre Stevenson, J.K. Dobbins, Tyler Algier, Brashard Smith at running back, Nico Collins, T. Higgins, Xavier Worthy, Rome Odunze, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Knoll, and Diami Brown at receiver, with Kittle, Strange, and then a mystery tight end to round out the crew. Dirty P says Young Scat, 167 yards, 690 yards, 34 receptions for 350 yards, 9 total touchdowns. It's a little more realistic than mine. Still definitely on the optimistic side, but I hope so. All right, so I'm gonna take Chig here, and that will do that team. And let's hop in something else. Let's keep it going. JT Best Ball, thank you so much for stopping by. Like the new look. JT Best Ball is going to be streaming for 6 hours tonight. He's got some awesome guests lined up. So if you don't subscribe to JT Best Ball, Mr. Thibodeau is out there in the content streets, and I know he's got some good stuff coming up tonight. Let's see if we can do a 30-second BBM. Let's see what happens. Waiting for 7. All right, I'm not optimistic we're going to be able to fill that. So I'm going to hop out of it. And let's see. I will try to hop into a 20-second BBM. I'm going to hop in now. Waiting for 5. All right, so I'll wait for this to fill. If anyone wants to hop in, we are waiting for 5 in a 20-second BBM. Let me just alert some others. Waiting for 5, 20-second BBM. Waiting for 3. All right. Yes, going to be a fun night for sure. Awesome, JT. Yeah, 6 hours is quite the commitment, but I applaud the energy that takes. We are down to waiting for 2. So if you want to hop in and scoop my EV, now is your chance. Now is your chance. Waiting for 1. We're down to 1. And full. All right. Let's see if any of you all got in here. ATX Bearcat, good to see you. You are there at the 101. Buck is here. Oh no, Buck, a legend of the ship chasing and Matic discords. He is in at the 6 hole. And if any of you else are in here, let me know. I apologize for missing you again. It's yes, ATX Bearcat, I see it there. You got the 101. You got the 101. And of course, Buck. I don't know if Buck is in the chat, but he is here in the room. He walks among us. So let's see. This could end up being another another Nico Collins team, but of course the stakes are a little bit higher. And again, all right, Buck joining us with an AU. So yeah, I should have practiced my AU. I don't want like a Duval kind of moment and just and then it's just over. I haven't actually done an AU before, so it could have gone worse. Have to go to work, sadly. Have a good morning. James, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you starting the day with us. Too late, Chad. Yeah, that was it. Anytime you want to have a bad moment on a video, make sure that an actual video editor is in the room. It's follow me on the thing at FF Chief. It's lit over there. All right, I will do that, James. I will make sure to stop by again. Thank you so much for coming in and for supporting our fledgling channel here. All right. Let's see what Buck does. Well, first of all, let's make sure ATX Bearcat took Jamar Chase like he's supposed to. Buck with his flaming hot takes Puka Nacua ahead of Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm sure he has some galaxy-brained reason for doing that, and I will just take Christian McCaffrey because I say to hell with CLV. I am just going to take my guy at 8. I don't care if people got him at 18 early in this contest. GM, Chad isn't afraid of the CMC asteroid, but can I fancy your interest in a Rashi Rice Ice Age, leasing all your teams in a frozen tundra? If you are drafting Rashi Rice at 23, you are going to be eating Uncle Ben's 1-minute instant rice for the entirety of winter until the next season starts. That's my take. Rice is going to slip in this draft with us in here. Yeah, Buck is on my take that Rashi Rice is wildly overpriced, and we have jumped the Rice shark. Yes, Uncle Ben. Oh, did they change it? Is it not Uncle Ben anymore? Oh my God, I'm going to get canceled. This is worse than the AU. Well, whoever makes instant rice now, you're going to be eating that. You're going to be eating that, and it's not going to taste good because you took Rashi Rice at 23. That's my humble opinion there. I really thought I might get Amon-Ra there. This is brutal. I hate picking at 8. I do not like picking at 8. I think I'm just going to take Lad because I am scared to go robust RB, which is a little embarrassing, but I did not want to go CMC Henry, although I was tempted, if I'm going to be completely honest. It's now Ben's original. Okay, Ben's original rice. Thank you, Buck. I have mercifully not had to consume much of Ben's original rice in the past 5 years. But I mean, I buy the like Vigo yellow rice that's like $1.29. It's not it's just not instant. It just takes 20 minutes. It's good. Add a little butter. You're off and running. Let's see. JT, I am with you. Not many seem to be, hence he still keeps moving. He is just steaming up the board. Yeah, he 22. He went at 22. What are we doing? Scamp 21. Unbelievable. Buck, you did get your guy, Jonathan Taylor, so I know you have not been hacked, and you have joined this stream and draft on your own accord. You got your guy. Good to see. Let's see what our friend ATX Bearcat does. He gets Chase and McBride, so he builds the classic Week 17 correlation with the Bengals and the Cards. And Josh Jacobs, just a nice meat and potatoes pick there. Gotta play the hits. It's like, you're a musician, you have a concert. People, they don't want to hear your new stuff. We don't need your new Alexander Madison takes. We want to see you take Jonathan Taylor. That's why we're here, Buck. We're here to see that. Yeah. I like Rice and X-Wall. What happened? There's so many people, like the Iberian Peninsula makes so much rice. I think, rice is universal. Rice is a universal constant on most continents here at this point. Let's see. Buck, our friend, takes Devontae Adams. So he builds the Rams double stack. He goes for the Rams double stack. Garrett Wilson goes, which is unfortunate because that's my favorite receiver there. And I'm not super in on JSN, but he's a guy that he's like my classic 8% guy that I don't want none of, but I will take there. Breece Hall would have been interesting, but again, I did not think I wanted to get too far behind at receiver in this room. Although generally, I think I've been somewhat Breece Hall pilled. Yeah. Ant is bringing up the real question. What are we doing talking about Rice here? Well, I Rashi. We'll stick to Rashi Rice. We'll stick to Rashi Rice and keep that the focal point of the discussion. Our culinary preferences aside, looking for my team, I would absolutely take Breece Hall if he falls to me. If he doesn't, Lamar is interesting. I don't end up with a ton of Lamar, but I do like him quite a bit. I love Jameson Williams, as I have taken a ton of him. Let's see what Beowulf does here. So he gets lucky and gets Breece Hall. I'm just gonna take Lamar here. I think I'm gonna take Lamar. Again, if I'm not taking Lamar at this like ADP discount, which I think is meaningful this early, at this point in the draft, it's going to be hard for me to really get a lot of him. There's a slim chance that he'll be that Flowers comes to 56, but he never makes it all the way to like 59. I can't count on Flowers coming around because I think his ADP is closer to 50, but it's 52. So there's a small chance we could end up pairing them. But again, I'm more than happy with Lamar unstacked or with a Andrews or Bateman, who I do also like quite a bit. Let's see. Buck takes my favorite receiver in this range of Jameson Williams. That makes sense. But again, as just scrolling by, I have 31% Jameson Williams, so I just do not need to take him in every single BBM. What's the 101 of rice? Got to be Chipotle, cilantro, lime, white rice, and X-Wall. We have another one. We have another one. Yeah, that's the most American suggestion I've ever heard. Yes, I said that before I saw your comment. Absolutely, my God, Skeletor. I think true rice enthusiasts would have a heart attack hearing the Chipotle, cilantro, lime, white rice as the 101 of rice. That said, I do like my Chipotle, cilantro, lime, white rice almost as much as I like my my Qdoba brown rice. But anyway, my opinion though is Moe's. Moe's is the best of the Chipotle, Qdoba fast burrito chains, and I know that's like a Buck level contrarian opinion as far as ranking the what's the 102 Panda Express. Yeah, Panda Express is in its own pantheon of deliciousness and perfection when it comes to rice. So ATX Bearcat, he gets a Flowers. That's fine. Flowers goes more often than not in that 50 to 54 kind of range. Let's see what we get. Man, Waddle and Ridley. I love both of these guys. I think I'm going to just lean towards Ridley in this case. I'll take a Calvin Ridley share here. I think I have more Waddle than I do Ridley, and I just want to break the tie towards exposure a little bit. I really like both of those players a lot, and so I am not disappointed when I end up with one of those guys. So much against him. I haven't seen the Chiefs be an elite passing offense in years now. Health, Brown, second year worthy. Old man Kelsey lost weight. Should be an easy pass on Rice. Yeah, look at the ticker. I'm just noticing. Yeah, with JT Best Ball, I agree. There's a lot of us in this room who are Rice skeptics at this new ADP. But yes, look at the ticker. I'm just noticing. Yes, you can see my exposures. That's BBM only, and it's through I think 36 BBMs. So it's actually really helpful if you're drafting with me because you can see who I'm likely to take. It's really good. It's really good EV for me to spam my exposures for everyone that I'm drafting with. But you know what? We're here to have fun, guys. We're here to have fun. Definitely need to hit up Chipotle now. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with Chipotle. Let's see. Let's see. I like Addison quite a bit, but I think we're gonna get cheaper Addison when the suspension stuff really kicks into gear. So I'm just gonna take Olave, who I don't have a ton of, but would like to get a little more on. Again, this has been a pretty standard taking guys at or around ADP value team. Not doing anything like crazy out of the ordinary here. But again, that's kind of how I want to just do my BBMs. ATX Bearcat asks, do you do any slows on your trip? Yeah. So I had a whole idea. I made the thumbnail and everything for Slow Draft Hell, and I was going to stream my slows, or talk through the teams, a little more in depth and kind of like plan out what I was going to do. And I barely had time to even draft, let alone like set up all my streaming stuff and do it. So I did do some slows, but not a lot. I think I had 25 open at once. But let's see if Ron Stewart was able to push Burrow, but now is he actually going to take him? He's just winding the clock to make us all like see it. I'm confused. What are you doing, Ron? So Ron gets the Burrow push. Nobody protected the integrity of the contest, unfortunately. I can't believe you all allowed this to occur. That's disappointing. But you know what? That's I don't know. I just expected a little more. Expected a little more from the room. And now I don't know. But let's see. ATX Bearcat as a consolation prize gets Judkins and Golden, like both of those picks. So he's got Chase, Jacobs, McBride, Sutton, Flowers, Judkins, and Golden. Our friend Buck here with Puka, JT, Devontae Adams, Jameson Williams, Alvin Kamara, Debo Samuel on his team. I don't know why, Buck, I thought you were out on Debo, but maybe I'm making that up. Obviously, you're not too out on him if you took him here. I don't know why I thought you were among the Debo skeptics. But let's see what comes over to us. Jaden Reed goes. I like him, but I think at this point, I truly need. Oh, I didn't miss the Debo video. I didn't miss it. You're right. You are a big Debo bull. I had forgotten that. ATX Bearcat, I'm going to Europe for 2 weeks trying to figure out how many slows I want to do. Yeah, I generally don't love slows. And I kind of found them a little bit of a nuisance, especially when I'm like trying to spend time with. I was on a family trip and I was like, this is kind of a pain. I'm just like taking people on ADP. I'm going to take Pollard to pair with Ridley. I think I like that a little more than Swift, who very reluctantly take. I don't want to have no Swift, but I think when I'm making a little bit of a bet on a team, I'd like to continue that bet more than force that or just take the very small ADP value I'm getting. They're sending this to there's the integrity. Like, how does somebody get Burrow there? It's completely unacceptable. By August, Burrow will just be at the ADP at the 6-7 turn. It seems that way, Mythology. He's definitely pushing that way. The only pushback I would say is that we might get more and more casuals by then who will just take him unstacked. I don't know if that like flood of casuals is like a thing that happens or something, like one of those like sweaty best ball legends. I don't know. We'll see if it actually occurs or not. I don't have any need for Mahomes, Mayfield, or Murray. I would have taken Mooney. I could take Cooper Kupp and then double stack Seattle, because anytime you can take both Sam Darnold pass catchers, one of whom is really dusty, you got to do it. But I'm going to do it. And this at least gives me another very late QB out to add to Lamar. I would have liked another running back, but again, I didn't really want to reach for Mason or Warren. Sniped my Burrow. Yeah, you can't expect the Higgins drafter to let you have him. Looking at season-long projections, that's where he should go. Yeah, Mathology, I think I agree. I think I agree with you. I think the issue is because the ADPs line up so neatly. Like he was just getting anchored by the trigger happy Jamar Chase drafter, and maybe now if they were just willing to let it go from the beginning, they'd be getting at 6-7 every time, because nobody wants to take like a pure pocket passer in the 5th, but they do it. But instead, the 101 community could have all banded together and gotten us there. But instead, now we've got to wait for late August drafts to take Burrow where he should be going. I'll pull up the board. Let's see what we missed. We had ATX Bearcat. He takes Jalen Warren, and then let's see who else he gets as he winds down the clock to take Bo Nix. Bo Nix, he pairs him with Sutton. Yeah, so you made us all wait for just a good selection. Thanks, ATX Bearcat. Buck takes Pat Mahomes unstacked. No, he has Pacheco. All right, you can tell yourself tales of Pacheco dump offs. I understand. I also think Mahomes just objectively going 30 plus picks past Burrow is to me just crazy. But so I'm certainly I'm certainly not too far off with that pick there. So there goes Travis Kelce. I would really like Mark Andrews here. I think that would be really nice if I could have that. Perez, thank you. So yeah, I'll take Andrews here as my first tight end and pair him with Lamar. So that pick, I think that pick kind of makes itself. GM Crossface, thank you so much for coming by. No, I'm not staying away from Darnold. I think he's fine. Do I want him to be my, like, if in a 2 QB build? Probably not. Even with an elite QB, I'd have a hard time with that. But maybe, if you're drafting like you're right and you're drafting like Seattle's going off, then, maybe I'm talking myself into that. But no, I mean, the coach speak is good. They do seem to like him quite a bit. And I don't see a reason why we shouldn't be taking him. I don't think Milrow is, I would have taken Charbs. That would have been, that was going to be the pick. That would have been nice there. This running back range is grim, and this is why I get a ton of Tootin here. Boy, let's see. Might just take the Trey Harris ADP value. Evan Ingram certainly tempting. I like Evan Ingram a lot, but let's take a Trey Harris share here, and then we could end this with 6 receivers. I don't know. I don't mind that. With Ladd and Jigba, Ridley, Olave, Kupp, and Harris, we have a pretty big, a couple big team bets. We've got a couple Charger receivers. We've got a couple of Seattle receivers. I don't know, pretty interesting team that we have coming together. Some would call it interesting. Some might call it not good. You be the judge. Methodology, you're right about that. Yeah, no. That the slappy are going to slap. Yes. There is no stopping the slappy community when they get going. They are legion and they are vocal. Let's see what so Pat, excuse me, I keep doing this. Buck took Jared Goff, but he got JMO, so that pick makes sense. ATX Bearcat, you almost got the magical Evan Ingram slide, but it didn't happen. So you get Mims as a consolation prize, and then you get Love to pair with Golden and Jacobs. That's pretty nice there. Let's see for us what we can do. Tootin potentially coming around. Tootin goes. Buck on the clock. If Buck doesn't take Tyler Warren, I will be stunned. Wow. Oh no, he has Mahomes, so Hollywood Brown makes sense. I just know that Buck is a certifiable a certifiable Tyler Warren truther. But I'm just going to take Herbert here and pair him with my number one receiver. So I'll have a couple options late. This could be a Darnold team, or this could be a Cam Ward team. Or I could even just end this with 2 QBs. I am not sure. I guess we'll just have to see what comes to us. I am in dire need of another running back. I am really reliant on CMC returning to form. But again, if you draft CMC at the 8th overall pick, that's kind of the bet you have made, and you're sticking with it. So let's see. Is this really by 80? Man, Javonte is plummeting. He is plummeting. Tajay Spears to handcuff the Titans is certainly weirdly tempting in this team. I'm so out on Jaden Blue. I think that stinks. Trey Benson is, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm doing it because you guys have taken every running back and every bit of joy that I want in my life. I'm taking Tajay Spears. I am going to take both Tennessee backs as my second running back. This is probably really bad. I'm going to get yelled at by Buck and possibly Mathology, although Mathology seems like a nice guy, so he might keep it to himself. We're going to try something here. I don't do a lot of handcuffing, and I certainly don't do a lot of handcuffing with earlier picks, but I'm just going to try to lock down the Titans backfield. Again, I feel like Benson, White, Garendo, pure contingency. Maybe Dobbins would have been a better pick. I like Dobbins a lot. I'm still dealing with a little sticker shock taking him at this point in the draft. Hulk Smash Potatoes, one of the best names in all of YouTube. Thank you so much for coming by. Appreciate it. Hope you are having a good morning watching this draft unfold. Buck can be relied to join my drafts to scoop my EV, and so he is here today, as is ATX Bearcat. ATX Bearcat adding Benson and Likely, so he continues the little bit of bring back on the Jamar Chase and adds Isaiah Likely to his team. Let's see what Buck does as the board comes around to him. Let's see. As far as QBs, Ward ADP of 166, Darnold of 180. So we'll see. I don't think I want to take another quarterback here. That wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. I would probably take one of Algier or Bigsby at this point. I'm imagining Buck is going to take one of them. He takes Bigsby, again, confirming that it's Buck. I hope this guy does not take a 6th running back, but you never know what people are going to do. He takes Tua, so I'm going to add Tyler Algier. I think he just makes sense with this team. We need somebody who's going to be on the field, and Algier plays a little bit, and he also has significant contingent upside. Hugging is fine as long as the duo have different roles. That's kind of what I've come to think about, and at least what it seems like is the prevailing wisdom. I think that you could almost say Spears and Pollard are kind of an odd duck. I feel like they have different roles, kind of, sort of, maybe. Interesting question there if that was bad. But when you're in this pick 137 range, I'm willing to get a little more loosey-goosey. And it's not like Pollard is super expensive himself. I don't know. I would be interested to hear your thoughts if Tennessee is one of those backfields that you can do it with. With all that said, I think I got to just add Cam Ward to this team and say that the Titans are going to be awesome. If I miss out on Braylon Allen or Jalen Wright, I don't know. There's other similar contingent upside backs I can take here. This is a lot of QB draft capital. I think some would say that it's too much, especially taking Lamar early. But you know what? That's it. This is my team. We're going to do it. We are going to do it. So I'll pull the board back up. Let's see what our friends do. Buck takes Pat Bryant. Makes sense. Pat Bryant has been slowly moving up all summer. He's seems like a pretty darn good pick here. Hold on 1 second here. Okay. All right. I may have to take a small intermission to help my wife with something, but we will keep this rolling. ATX Bearcat takes Thielen and Braylon Allen. So a chaperone and then a kid makes sense. Kevin loves these picks. Kevin, you normally come in here and just roast my team. So I'm a little worried about you. I'm also like, the next sentence is like, you're going to tell me that you love all of Buck's picks or something like that. But thank you. Dirty P says, here's to hoping you draw all your 101s in August. Yeah, exactly. When the variance catches up with you, then you want it to be when you can stack Burrow there. Mathology, ETR projection pod is up, and all the guys were hotter on Spears, but yes, they have different roles. You get the carries and targets. Unsure if the fantasy goodness all depends on O-line and Cam. Yeah. And I guess that's the thing, right? We're doing 150 of these teams. So if they stink, this team's just dead. and yeah, you can't account for every variable. Like you have to just like hit the nuts on all these with all these bets that we're making. So I'm really fine. Like if Tennessee's bad, then this team is cooked, as the kids say. I'll take Jalen Wright. I will just take Jalen Wright. This note keeps coming up that he lost, quote, a lot of body fat. Why did he have a lot of body fat? He's a professional athlete. I don't know. That seems, I guess that's good, but it's a little concerning that like he was like chunky. I don't know. That note always does make me laugh when I come across it. So we add Jalen Wright to the team. Our running back room now has CMC, both Tennessee backs with Pollard and Spears, Algier, and Jalen Wright. And then we've got Ladd, JSN, Ridley, Olave, Cup, and Trey Harris. Might stop at 6 backs here. Again, this is going to be a little bit interesting how we want to land this plane. I think I still want one more running back on this team. I don't think I feel super great ending this at 5, but I don't know. Again, this is one where opinions may vary. I could take Chig and then end up just with like a truly massive bet on the Titans. I don't think any of these receivers. Yeah, we're all in. We're all in, and I probably hit the tipping point of Titans. I've probably hit the tipping point of Titans. I'm getting flashbacks from when Bryce Young was a rookie, and you could get all of the Carolina pieces, and it just didn't really work. I'm kind of doing that here, but I will. We'll make a little bit of a bet on the Titans. We are all in. Bindles, GM to all the Chads. Bindles was involved in the most epic best ball Jeopardy over on the Fanspeak Network with Pat from Fantasy Dog Pound. And if you have not watched that episode, I highly recommend it. It was probably the best one, and those two were absolutely electric. So I will not spoil how it turned out, but I Bindles, it was awesome watching you on there. And of course, Bindles has his own channel and content, which you should check out if you do not already. With 2 picks to go, we're definitely in the market for probably one more tight end. And again, I'm still undecided if I want a receiver or a running back. But let's see, ATX Bearcat, he adds Justice Hill and Calvin Austin. Makes sense there. I think I'm going to take a running back and a tight end on this team. But let's see what Buck does. He's in the same exact boat as me with 3, 5, 6, 2. He takes a third. Tight end. I'm going to take Keaton Mitchell. a little more firepower for the Ravens. I think he's the contingent back when it comes to something potentially happening to Derrick Henry, and then we will definitely be done at running back there. And let's see what kind of tight ends that the room gives to us. Juwan Johnson would be my preference because I do have the Chris Olave, so maybe again a little bit of a team bet on the on another terrible team on the Saints. Anytime you can just load up on the Saints and the Titans, you're you wonder why these stacks are available. Love the morning stream, Spindles. Thank you for stopping by and helping make these more enjoyable. I also could take Arroyo because again I have a big bet on Seattle. So let's see. Fingers crossed we get Johnson because I think he's kind of the tier break here. But again, so Noah Gray, interesting, goes. Cool. I will more than happily take Johnson if this guy does not take a fourth tight end. Beowulf 34 winds the clock down. I hope I'm not frozen. No, it takes Tutu Atwell. All right. We will take Juwan Johnson. So this team ends up at a 3-6-6-3 team with Lamar Herbert and Cam Ward. Running back room of CMC, Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, Tyler Algier, Jalen Wright, and Keaton Mitchell. So a little sketchy, but interesting. Some contingent upside and a little bit of a handcuff situation in Tennessee. Wide receiver room of Lad McConkey, JSN, Calvin Ridley, Chris Olave, Cooper Kupp, Trey Harris, Mark Andrews, Chig Okonkwo, and Juwan Johnson. Buck, again, proving he is Buck, takes Turpin. And let's see what ATX Bearcat does. So I will go over their teams. So this may boot me out of the screen, so I'll have to go back to it. So Buck goes, nope, it did. All right, here we go. All right. Let's go back to that. So let's look at Buck's team. Buck with a 3-5-7-3 team. He takes Mahomes, Goff, and Daniel Jones at QB. Running back room of JT, Alvin Kamara, Pacheco, Dobbins, and Bigsby. So a pretty strong running back room there. Wide receiver room of Puka, Adams, Jamison Williams, Deebo Samuel, Hollywood Brown, Pat Bryant, and Turpin. Did you get Stafford? You didn't get Stafford. So I missed if you got sniped on that, Buck, or if you intentionally passed on him. And then a tight end room of Kelsey, Ertz, and Cole Kmet. So pretty strong room there. The Kmet pick is interesting, but certainly if you're bearish on the recovery of Colston Loveland, that makes sense. Cole Kmet could be an early season player while Travis Kelce comes around later in the playoff push. So Buck, I like your team. ATX Bearcat 3-6-7-2 with Nix, Love, and Tyler Show at quarterback. Josh Jacobs, Quinshon Judkins, Jalen Warren, Trey Benson, Braylon Allen, and Justice Hill at running back. So one of the big rookie running backs, and then some contingent upside value later, like that quite a bit. Wide receiver room of Jamar Chase, Cortland Sutton, Zay Flowers, Matthew Golden, Marvin Mims, Thielen, and Calvin Johnson. And then Trey McBride and Isaiah Likely. So ATX Bearcat, it looks like you went sort of 3 QBs at all costs, adding Tyler Show. I suppose, Mr. Irrelevant is so often a zero. I am not opposed to taking somebody that you think will not be a zero. So yes, ATX Bearcat says, I had to join the 3 QB cabal. I had to maybe take an RB. I don't know. In June, when the round 18 running backs are very much in flux, you're pretty decent chance of eating a zero. So I'm definitely open to the idea of taking someone that we're pretty sure is not a zero. Makes sense. I don't know. Personally, I think I probably would have taken a running back when you have Nix and Love, but that's kind of the cutoff. But I don't think it was bad. I don't know. That's definitely something that people can argue with. There is no tier break in the last 3 rounds, Chad. I think there is. I think, you squint hard enough, you could start seeing tiers, or maybe those are just my tiers from building bad teams. Steve, what's going on, Chad? Thank you so much for coming in. Really good to see you. Steve is over there on the Fanspeak Network doing amazing stuff. If you don't subscribe to the Fanspeak Network, you should, because they've got some really cool content. They put out stuff every day, and Steve is one of the sharpest guys in this whole best ball space, and also one of the nicest guys. If you've had the fortune of interacting with Steve, like, really good guy. So let's see, what else can we do? I kind of want to do a sprint, but these never fill. So let's see what happens if we fire up a 30-second sprint and channel our inner Jewish McCaffrey. Waiting for one. All right. I'm going to wait for this to fill. I have to help my wife with something very quickly. Realize I never put the ducks on. So I am going to be up and all right. It's fired. All right. I am going to be back. I am not abandoning people. Please do not think I have left you. So give me 2 seconds. I've got to grab something for my wife. It's going to take a couple trips, but I will be back. So Steve was on point last night. Good draft. Yeah. No, absolutely. Oh, Steve is in. Oh no. All right. So Steve, yes, Steve is in at the 3, and I don't think I recognize anyone else in here. All right. I will be back. I'm not going to abandon the sprint. That would be quite the bit to make you to see who would stick around and just watch an auto drafted sprint. All right, I'll be right back. All right. I realized I probably could have just muted the stream and the camera. I never actually get up. I used to Big Trouble made her wait too long. No, I have to bring a bagel up, but I have to heat the bagel first, so the bagel's in the toaster. I suppose I could change this the category to this being like a cooking stream, and you could watch me spread Philadelphia cream cheese on a pre-made bagel. I don't know what people want. It's either that or a sprint. You guys can choose next time. I'll put a poll up. Chad spreads cream cheese, or Chad drafts a format where he doesn't have any ranks and isn't really sure what he's doing. All right, let's see. But we did not get Jewish McCaffrey in here, which is good, because I think that's got to be minus EV for those of us who don't do a ton of sprints. But just talking sprint strategy, I think it's very much just like a normal BBM. The playoffs, being 3 weeks instead of 1 week at a time, the playoff matchups are still going to matter somewhat, right? They're going to matter a little less because they're not like eliminations, but you do want your players to spike then. So, back-weighted production is still good, but you got to get there, as the saying goes. So let's see. Keep an eye on Dave. Okay. All right. I will. I don't know if all right, let's see. Dirty P says, is Seth J12 in the chat? That guy likes my guys. Let me tell you, sucks to draft with the guys that like your guys. Yeah, I know. I want to draft with the guys who just disagree with me on everything, because then I can build teams how I want to build them. Although, you know what, there's something to be said for having your guys get taken, because then you naturally diversify, I guess, keeping your wife happy. I know, I actually just heard the toaster pop. So after I make my 2 picks, I should have brought the cream cheese over. As you can see, I'm even less prepared for making breakfast than I am for a sprint draft. But you know what? We're all doing our best. We're all doing our best here. Let's see what Dave does. But no, I don't know if Seth J12 is in the chat. If they have not identified themselves. Dave takes Puka. So Unfortunately, you guys are gonna have to watch me draft another CMC team. All right, I'll pull the board up, and then yes, after this pick, there's the real sprint is me sprinting to the kitchen to grab cream cheese, but we'll take it one step at a time here. Let's see. So Steve is in the 3 hole. He takes Saquon. Makes sense. So Steve famously is of the RB in your flex is just the superior way to live your life. So I'm not surprised to see Saquon go there. Steve, I am generally in agreement with that. I think the cabal has pushed elite wide receiver firepower on all of us unwitting rubes, and the real answer is running back, because they hit your flex more often, yet we are always obsessed in every single format with in like BBMs and taking receivers, and then every other format we recognize how good running backs are. It's pretty wild. Amon-Ra, though, has been a faller. I don't know if people are just spooked by favored CC. Sorry, Mythology. I don't know what you mean there. I'm sorry. I feel like I'll figure it out after try to ask you. Speaking of force diversification, you're going to need to find a pivot for Mason and Scat in this one, Chad. Oh, Dirty P, are you in here? Did I miss? All right, we will get back to that. Oh boy, man, do I do another CMC lad team? This is kind of brutal. I like A-Chain. I'm tempted to do CMC A-Chain, but I don't know. You know what? I'm going to do it. We're going to figure it out. We're going to do CMC A-Chain. And we're just going to say we're just going to build a absolute playoff monster team and hope that this pans out. Dave is an ETR employee, an awesome guy, dog poll qualifier, super sharp. Oh, awesome. Well, glad to, I do like drafting with the sharp guys, because I try to take notes in what they do. And so thanks Mythology for the heads up. I would love to do the dog bowl this year. Last year I did like a few handful of qualifiers, and I have to decide if I actually want to like go at it this year or not. But that's really cool. Like, really would love to make a Underdog live final. I think that would be really amazing. Oh, flavored cream cheese. No, it's just plain. It's just plain. And thank you for reminding me. I need to go grab that cream cheese. Give me 1 second. I feel like I should take myself off of. Hold on. Uh-oh. All right, cream cheese spreading is truly an art, so I got to make sure I do this right. Oh, I see. All right, Steve says Dirty P is saying he's here for Mason and Scatabo. All right, that makes sense. I mean, they're good picks, so of course you'd be in on them. Nothing gets by Steve. No, nothing does. Mythology, I recognize Dave as well. Didn't realize he was an ETR employee. Yeah, I need to make a list of like some of these names of who I'm watching out for. All right. I don't know why I thought spreading cream cheese would look more normal, but it just looks really weird on camera. I'm now very self-conscious about this endeavor. But no, Mythology. I tend to do more like just garden vegetable cream cheese if I do get a flavor. Like, I don't typically go too far afield. If you do smoked salmon, it's got to be like good salmon. Otherwise, it just like is fishy for no reason. Like if you get like a tub of Philadelphia salmon, I don't know. It's not my jam. Like maybe occasionally, but then you have like a tub of it in your fridge for like 6 months because you realize you just want regular cream cheese. All right. I'm 6 picks away. I think I am going to pick, and then I have to bring the bagel to its destination. All right. Hopefully you made this bagel as good as Mr. J, the bagel. All right. Here's the bagel. Here's the bagel. Proof of bagel. Proof of cream cheese. We've got everything here. Here this morning we are multitasking and just trying to survive. Just trying to survive. Keep the wife happy so that we can keep on doing this. Get in these streamer drafts while they make amazing breakfast. Well, unfortunately, I cannot put the words best ball and breakfast next to each other without Pete's lawyers DMCAing my stream. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I do not want to steal any bits. Although I don't know if Pete's ever actually made breakfast on his best ball breakfast stream. I have an inclination that he has not. With that said, I really don't love McLaurin this year. But I don't know if I want to. You know what I do? I'm going to do it. I'm going to be the most robust RB bro and take Breece Hall and then say, I'm just going to figure out wide receiver later. This could be really bad. I don't build a lot of teams like this. But frankly, I'm drafting next to Dave, who knows what he's doing, and I'm scared and I'm doing weird stuff. No, I don't know. I do want running back in my flex. I don't know if I want to pass on elite receiver. However, I don't know if I really consider McLaurin super elite. And I think on the wraparound, I'll get one of the guys I like a Moore or Worthy or Evans, hopefully, and go from there. Or even, if I consider Jameson Williams elite, I could take him. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm going to take JMO and just hope that this is the year where he really is the ascendant superstar in Detroit. I like Detroit's playoff schedule. I mean, other than that game with Pittsburgh, I'm willing to roll the dice on that, and that offense continuing to be very very condensed. So I'm going to try to do this my way. This is, again, I'm not recommending you take Jameson Williams over Ted McMillan and DJ Moore every time, but I do think there's a chance that Williams is more of a home run swing than we're potentially seeing with where his ADP is. All right, I'm going to bring this bagel up. Give me 1 second. All right. All right, we're back. All right. more cream cheese. Yeah. If I'm just saying, we're looking for a sponsor. Does Kraft make Philadelphia? Yes, Kraft, Philadelphia cream cheese for all of your best ball bagel needs. Let's throw them off their game stat. Yeah, by taking a bunch of starving the room of receiver. I'm going to assume Steve is saying nice to the bagel I made, but I know you're talking about something else. I'm just going to take that out of context. Choose to be the problem. No bagels, best ball, as you watch me make bagels. Yeah. I guess Pete has his coffee pour. I could have my cream cheese spread. I don't know. Still workshopping some stuff. Make sure spreading cream cheese. Yeah, exactly. See, ATX Bearcat, you said it first, but I am with you there. Just trying for the ASMR lane in best ball space, spreading cream cheese on stream. Oh God, yeah, that's what we're I'll talk in a very like quiet voice, just like spreading cream cheese and like crinkling wrapping paper. Could work. There could be a niche for that. I don't know. If this could get desperate. If Scatabo has a bad year, you could see me in the ASMR streets. Let's see. Have you ever seen how the queen eats a banana? I think I saw that viral video, and it was like, it definitely included a knife and a fork and not like touching anything. Al Boogie GM 78. Thank you so much for coming by. We kind of went off the rails a little bit in terms of this draft generally. I will take Waddle here. I think he makes sense. If I'm going to start telling myself wide receiver 2s are the new wide receiver 1s, then I will do that. And I'll pull the draft board back up for people. Let's see what people who know what they're doing are doing. So Dave, the opposite of me, pure piss boy. Puka, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, Ken Walker, and then Steve-O with Saquon, T. Higgins, Devontae Adams, James Cook, and Portland Sutton. So yeah, all teams that make sense. Yeah. All good teams so far from Dave and Steve. Chad Cream Cheese Candle. Oh no, I can't have my nickname be Cream Cheese again. Yeah, Cream Cheese. No, it is. I'm just gonna keep this up. No, as Steve knows, this is a sprint. That's RB Superflex. Oh, I see what you're doing, Albany. No, this is an RB sprint. I was told that you needed people who can run fast, and who runs faster than running backs? Don't tell me wide receivers run faster. All right. It could be, yeah, good stick. Let's see. I like Odunze. I almost feel like I should make it this Olave, actually. When I'm catching up at receiver, I like Olave as a pick because he has the potential to be a wide receiver. We were taking him in the like second, third round last year. And so if he's healthy and that offense isn't bad, then he's going to be a big value there. So I think if I'm trying to catch up, he's kind of in my list of guys who potentially could significantly outperform their ADP. So I'll go with Olave there. I mean, I like Odunze. I would have been happy with him. Debo would have been a fine pick. You could make the same case with Godwin, although I definitely have a little more health concern with Godwin than with Olave, although Godwin is clearly going to be in a slightly better environment. All right, Dirty P, fork and knife bagel consumption may play on a live stream if you're into pioneering. Yeah, again, we'll see. It's a long summer. What's your bagel of choice? I like sesame or the hard to find egg bagel. Egg bagel is kind of an underrated bagel. I will give you that. My bagel choice is a little boring. I like everything. Like, I think a good everything bagel, and the key to a good everything bagel is enough salt. Most everything bagels you get like pre-made, they don't have enough salt. A good everything bagel where the salt is part of everything, that's where your that's kind of your 101 of bagels. Bagels are for bozos. English muffins in a landslide. Bagels to the landfill. Dirty P, what? They serve completely different roles. I agree. If you're trying to make a breakfast sandwich, the English muffin is superior. And you might be saying, oh no, the bagel has more integrity. It can hold up more. No, but it has a hole, guys. It has a hole. And when you're eating it, then you get that whole mouthful of only the topping with no bread. And that's a big fat L. But if I'm just putting like a condiment, like to me, a bagel is a great vessel for cream cheese. I love cream cheese, as you can tell. As the good folks at Kraft should be made aware. With all of that said, let's take some Jaden Reed. Let's take some Jaden Reed on this team. I think a fourth receiver makes more sense than a fourth running back. And again, he's in that category of guys who could outperform their ADP. Skeletor accuses of Dirty P of a mid IQ take. I just think they serve different functions. I feel like you are looking at a satellite back and expecting them to be like a bell cow or a goal line back, and it's just not going to happen. Like they're just you can't expect that out of them. I mean, bagels like Cam Scatabo, and your English muffin is like Woody Marks. Crossface, my man, egg bagels awesome. Like Chad says, it's hard to find everything or blueberry outside of that. Oh, blueberry bagel. I like those occasionally. But I like them as a change of pace. They're the change of pace back of breakfast foods. Let's see what comes to us. I think my preference here would be Hawkinson of these guys. I don't have a need for Baker or Nick. Starting to think about quarterback. Yeah, I think I really like Mooney, but I would rather get Hawk, who has the potential to fall closer to that elite tight end range, and also opens up McCarthy, who I really do like. Again, I don't have to worry as much about the playoff correlations because it's only 1 out of the 3 weeks of the playoffs if you get there, but I do think it helps. Let's see. English muffin are 3 bites and done. That's one of the big issues. If you're not making it a breakfast sandwich, then like you might as well just have like a Nutri-Grain bar at that point. You're just housing the thing in 3 bites. English muffin plus butter plus PBJ. Best ball on call. First of all, thank you for joining. Secondly, this feels like it belongs in the like training channel of the Matic Discord, where people post like just pure slop with good macros on it. Steve asks, what is a better delivery system for sausage, egg, and cheese? Bagel, English muffin, or biscuit? English muffin. I mean, the bagel hole thing can be overcome most of the time, but sometimes like a true homemade bagel, sometimes the hole gets out of control and is way too big. I like the muffin in theory because I do love a good muffin, but I don't know. Sometimes it's too like crumbly. Like it can get away from you. And I think a good muffin is actually almost like sticky, and I don't want that when I have the sausage, egg, and cheese. So I have to put biscuit. I meant biscuit when I said muffin. Biscuit I like in theory, but it's very hard to pull off. Skeletor, you're outnumbered. Just a Chad Candle short bus friends. Dirty B. We are streaming in the AM. This is all the most well put together. You know, instead of what people are doing here, instead of reading the Wall Street Journal, they are here in this because this is the same kind of people. Like we're, sophisticated connoisseurs of things, best ball and breakfast. And that's why we're hanging out. Raspberry jelly on anything is a plus. Crossface, I am not a huge fan of raspberry jelly, but I respect those who like it. Hulk Smash Potatoes just throws croissant out there. All right, let's get that off this screen. The whole gets too big and gets out of control. Yeah, Emo Cowboy is furiously trying to get back into the chat. Crazy thing to say. Sometimes you get those homemade bagels and they clearly something went wrong and the hole got too big in the bagel. Let's not make it more than it is. We're talking bagels here. Yeah, thanks, Steve. Let's keep this. This is a family. Show. So Goff would probably be my pick here. If Goff goes, then my remaining quarterbacks are going to be Tua, late Tyler Show, potentially Love, and McCarthy. But I don't think there's any reason to overthink just taking Jared Goff here. And yeah, I don't mind him. I like him. I like their playoff schedule. We're fading big hole in 2025. Oh no. Yeah, no. Especially if we're talking breakfast sandwich. Biscuit is no doubt the winner, especially if it's Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit. Okay, Steve. Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit breakfast is possibly the 101 of fast food breakfast. And by possibly it is. They do their biscuits so perfectly. But I think they get there because it's just a piece of chicken. Once you start getting the cheese in there, then suddenly the biscuit and the cheese, they don't always get along. But I agree, because it's just a piece of fried chicken. It works perfectly. Let's see what we've got coming up. Evan Ingram is interesting. I like Trey Harris here if we're going to be talking potential late round guys that might come on later in the season but could still be pretty decent early. I'll take me some Trey Harris here. I'll take some Trey Harris on this team. So far we've got Jared Goff, CMC, Devon Achane, Breece Hall at running back, wide receiver room of Jamison Williams, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave, Jaden Reed, and Trey Harris, in a tight end room consisting of just TJ Hawkinson for now. Let's see what Dave is the biggest piss boy. My God, he's got 0-2-8-0. Holy moly. All right, so Dave, I'm here too busy talking about breakfast sandwiches and someone who's like a literal employee of ETR is doing doing big brain stuff. So he's got Puka, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, 2 running backs of Ken Walker and David Montgomery, and then Jacoby Myers, Darnell Mooney, Rashid Shaheed, and Keon Coleman. My God, people. Well, he definitely has a strategy, and so that's interesting to take note of. What Dave is doing. Let's see what Steve is doing. Saquon, Higgins, Devontae, James Cook, Cortland Sutton, Caleb Johnson, Ricky Pearsall, our king Cam Scatabo, and then double taps Bo Nix and Drake May. I guess he didn't double tap, it went all the way around, but takes Bo Nix and Drake May. Right. Red Lobster biscuit, Red Lobster biscuit, absolutely delicious. It's the only reason to attend a Red Lobster, unless you like, I don't know, something really bad happened in your life and it's raining and you need to sit by the rain at a bad restaurant, then you can go to Red Lobster. But the biscuits are really good. I can't wait for your wife to watch this from the other room. Suddenly the power goes out. Yeah, she might just unplug this stream if she were to tune in. Don't tell Tyler we're fading any goals. No, Tyler doesn't worry about such things. He's happy however the bagel comes out. Al Boogie Red Lobster biscuit is good, and they sell the mix in stores, and it's actually like a decent go at them. It's very easy to make. So if you're hankering for a homemade biscuit, homemade like out of a box, biscuit chasing. Bindles, thank you for I'm so hungry now, I'm ready to eat my foot. Well, there was some advice that, I think, were you the raspberry jam guy? You could always slather on some raspberry jam. No, Al Boogie, the biscuit does not have a hole, just the bagel. Just the bagel. All right, let's see. Let's get back to the basics here. Back to the basics. All right. Tyler Warren, an interesting selection. If I'm going to take a QB, so Herbert takes away that option. Jordan Love went, huh? Jordan Love is gone. I think if Jordan Love is gone, then I probably should just take JJ McCarthy here. I do like Warren and Njoku, but I'm pretty excited about the Vikings. So we'll take some JJ McCarthy there. Warren and Njoku would be fine, but I think some of the late round tight ends are going to be pretty good picks. These are all things that the manufacturers or the bakers, I guess you'd call someone who makes bagels a baker, not a manufacturer, can handle. Dave takes another receiver. He's up to 9. He's an absolute maniac, taking Christian Kirk. My God. Where does Tua go here? 136. I'm almost tempted to just take Tua here. And I'm just going to take Tua. I'm going to take my third quarterback. We're going to be done at QB. We're going to go 3 QB, 3, I think, pretty decent quarterbacks who could spike, all of whom I do not mind their playoff schedules. Again, started with CMC, Achane, and Hall. So I had a nice Dolphins bet with Achane and Waddle here. And now, this is probably going to end up with 5 running backs. I don't think, it could potentially be hyper fragile and do 4. I would have done that if I took one more back early, but probably take 2 contingent backs. So take 2 more receivers, 1 more running back, and 2 more tight ends. And I don't know. I like how this team's come out, but if you're supposed to build these sprints like Dave, then I have gone way off the mark. So it still does not add a quarterback. He adds Dallas Goedert as his tight end 1 on his team. So very interesting. He has a 0-9-2-1 going on so far. So again, interesting to see what sharp people are doing, because clearly has a different strategy for sore sprint. You were eating big old bagels with the Angels. We were eating biscuits with the cool kids. Yes, that's what they say. We're just biscuit chasing here now. My God, people. My God. I still got to put this cream cheese back in the fridge. Philadelphia cream cheese for all your cream cheese, all your cream cheese needs. All right. Steve-O takes Rachaad White. Rachaad White is a guy I just haven't been able to get to. Clearly opinions seem to vary quite a bit on Rachaad White. I felt like there were games where he was getting snaps but no carries, which is absolutely terrifying. So I just have this fear that if something happens to Bucky Irving, it's just like Rachaad White will be the pass blocker, and Sean Tucker, who clearly has infinitely more juice, will actually get the ball. I worry Rachaad White is in that no man's land. I know he can be a competent pass catcher, but I don't know. He's been a click that I've had a very difficult time getting to around some of the other contingent backs in that kind of area, especially now that we have J.K. Dobbins creeping in. Obviously, I know Dobbins went ahead of White. So, Steve, I don't know if White was just your preference. I don't think, it's not, you're not like the Baker team or anything. Let's see what is coming to us. Pretty much can take any position except for quarterback at this point. What are your thoughts on a pizza bagel? My thoughts are that when pizza's on a bagel, you can eat pizza anytime. You have to be old like me to probably know that, to know that reference. Give me 1 second, however, and I like Isaiah Likely. I think he's one of those tight ends that has a good job, but also has contingent upside value. So I'm just going to add him, especially with my remaining running back picks. They're all going to be contingent guys anyway, pretty much. No, pizza bagel is a bit of a tough scene for me. I'm not. I just get a slice of pizza or eat a bagel. It's trying to do too much. I think Tucker only produced either in blowouts or the 2 games where White was injured. The game you cite where White played more, but Tucker got more touches. It was a blowout, and Tucker was salting a game away. Steve, that's fair. That's fair. I guess I should have. You think White has standalone role? Okay. See, I guess that's where I thought I remembered towards the end of White like getting a lot of empty snaps. So. I need to adjust my priors if that's not the case, because I am just taking contingent backs from a lot of teams, and to just not have the contingent back in Tampa Bay is bad. I guess just in my mind it wasn't as clear as like Algier or Ray Davis or that kind of guy. All right, we are coming back up. Josh Palmer goes. He's actually probably who I was going to click there. If we are talking late season receiving production, I think we can look no further than Pat Bryant. I'm pretty high on him. I'll take a share of Bryant and make him the 6th running back on the crew. I worry Jalen McMillan really has just kind of lost his job. Steve thinks that White still has a standalone value and is enough of a passing role and some red zone role. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. In the playoffs, White played and Tucker didn't, so I view it from that perspective. Again, that makes a lot of sense. I wonder if it's one of those positions we'll get more camp clarity than we have, but if that's again, if that's just the case, then I really should be taking some Rachaad White, because he is one of those guys that 2 years ago when he was good just seemed like he had no juice, but still like produced in a huge way. And there's, Bucky kind of blowing him out of the water. I think was more of a function of Bucky just being really exceptional. But I guess we'll see. But yeah, I probably should start mixing him in a little bit more. Rashad and ETN need their own Spider-Man costume. Personally, I can't trust a superhero without a cape. Well, I don't take any ETN either, because I think ETN is really bad. And when a team drafts two running backs, it cannot be good for the incumbent. And again, I know there was some decent coach speak on ETN, but like, what is the coach going to say? Like, oh, this guy sucks. Like, if they're trying to trade him, or just like, you want guys to produce, so you're not going to go out in the media and just like dog this guy. So I didn't read too much into them saying like, oh, ETN's done everything we've asked him. He's this, that, and the other. It's still a little like, I don't know. I have some concerns that he's still not going to do a whole lot this season. Find a good Jewish bakery for the pizza bagel. It will change your life. No hole. All right. Again, if I'm willing to adjust my priors on Rachaad White, I can adjust my priors on a pizza bagel. That does not seem too outrageous of a thing to do. All right, let's see. Coming back to us, trying to think of my late round receivers. There's Tesla and Felton / Naylor. There's Westbrook Ikine, although his injury thing is weird, and I was pretty sure that he would just easily dust Washington there, but I don't know if that's actually the case. Let's see what Dave does. Dave still doesn't have a quarterback. Okay. Okay. Dave's in my head here, but you know what? We're just going to take, I think I'm just going to take Zach Ertz here. No, you know what? I'm going to take Miles Sanders. Because it looks like his ADP has not adjusted in the sprint like it has in some of the other contests where he seems like he's going higher. We were willing to make that Ezekiel Elliott bet for Dallas. That kind of paid off. So I think it's disgusting, but I will take a little bit of Miles Sanders in the 15th round. And I don't know if I want Zach Ertz as my tight end 3 or not. I feel like if I'm making a contest that is so back-weighted, and I know BBM is, so if I'm taking him in BBM, I should take him here. But I don't know. I'm a little... If Ertz comes to me, I'll probably just take him. But I definitely also see the vision of like a Will Shipley maybe as my final running back here. So let's see what happens. I think Dave didn't realize the draft filled. That sucks for him, but good for us. So Steve, you're telling me I've just been like reading into Dave, thinking he's this like gigabrain genius, and it's really just the fact that we like fill the sprint and he's auto drafting. I think you're right. I think you're right, and I should have. I got so distracted by the bagel talk that I did not realize he was auto drafting. But you're probably right. He probably wants at least one quarterback. On his team, because right now he has none. I was ready to write some kind of sprint manifesto and say how ETR is advocating for a 0-2-12-2 build, and it turns out the poor guy just like didn't know it build 0-2-10-4. You hate to see it. 4 tight ends before a QB is a bold call. That was a sprint for Dave. He's about to learn his draft build. Oh no. Yeah, I don't know what grit this is like. I guess it's like the anti-gritty, right? Like 4 tight ends before any quarterbacks. Steve takes my favorite late tight end with Juwan Johnson. It's always good when someone like Steve takes the guy you're into, because it validates it. Even if I don't get him in this draft, I feel good about the Gorillion shares of Juwan Johnson that I already have. So I am happy to see that. Let's see. I am very torn as to which late round receiver to take, whether it's Tesla, Felton, or Westbrook Ikine. And only 2 running backs with the same buy is hyper fragile as it gets. Yeah, it's so fragile. It's just broken. Like it's just a box of like shards of glass. It's not even fragile at this point. It's just shards. All right, let's see what Steve does. Steve takes Johnson. So let's see. He ends up with Fergie. So definitely a little less value in tight end. And maybe that makes sense, right? When you're not trying to advance a single week, that single spike might be a little less important. I'll take a Jatavion Sanders. I think I like that more than Arroyo or one of the other guys. But going back to that, and Steve, I don't mean to divine what your intentions are, but it does make sense if you're just trying to compile like 3 weeks worth of points, then maybe that's easier to do with kind of like volume than needing the guy you think is going to go off to carry you to the next week. I don't know. But anyway, I used a little more capital on my tight ends, but not a whole ton. And let's see our receivers, who we can add to this team. Maybe it is just Tesla with Goff. We'll tie break it to bye weeks. I don't have any week 6 buys. I'm going to take Tesla. I mean, they used a lot of draft capital to get this guy. So I have to think they like him. And Goff was my first QB I took. And if I am taking JMO, then maybe that is a bet that there is more to this Amon-Ra thing. And we'll bookend the receiver room with Isaac Tesla. So this team ends up being a 3-5-7-3 with Goff, JJ McCarthy, and Tua. Running back room of CMC, A-Chain, Breece Hall, and then Miles Sanders and Will Shipley chasing. Wide receiver room of Jamison Williams, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave, Jaden Reed, Trey Harris, Pat Bryant, and Isaac Tesla. And a tight end room of TJ Hawkinson, Isaiah Likely, and Jatavion Sanders. Our friend Dave, he gets Jackson Dart as his single quarterback. He goes a 1-3-10-4 build, shattering the meta. Let's see, if I go to yours, it's going to change every time someone drafts. It's so annoying that it does that. Steve, I will recap your team when this one ends, and I will probably call the stream here a solid 2 hours on a Friday of hanging out. I appreciate everybody who's come and hung out. Steve, it is really you. I know you've not been hacked because you took MVS, which is the most Steve from Fanspeak pick out there. So, all right, this draft is completed, it says. So let's see. If I go to completed, I go to the sprint, which is in its own thing. I've only done 4 of these. Let's see. All right, Steve, let's recap your team. So Steve goes 3-5-7-3, which is the same build I used, but he went Bo Nix, Drake May, Sam Darnold, Saquon Barkley, James Cook, Caleb Johnson, Cam Scatterbo, and Rashad White. Wide receiver room of T. Higgins, Devontae Adams, Cortland Sutton, Ricky Pearsall, Kyle Williams, Adam Thielen, and MVS. And tight ends of Fergie, Johnson, and Johnson. Awesome. Maybe you are looking for your sponsorship. I have Kraft. You have Johnson and Johnson. It could work. I think 3 tight end is probably the best approach for the sprint unless you have one of the top 3 guys. Yeah, that intuitively makes sense for me. I was hoping that the second was in the Firemouth Gesicki range, but I wanted my third QB in my guy Thielen. Again, that makes sense. I feel like 3 QB in the sprint to me almost feels like a must, unless you're Dave. Unless you're Dave, and then you have Jackson Dart. You hate to see it, folks. You hate to see it. But again, thank you all so much for coming by. If you have not, please like and subscribe. I'm looking forward to be doing these with you all summer. I'm going to have a few standalone videos coming out. But otherwise, I should see you all on Monday. All right, take care, everyone.